Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another recap of Love is Blind Season 2. We're going to go through episodes 6 to 9. Here with Hannah again.
I'm excited.
She's already popping her White Claw, so why don't you do that too? Let's get into it. Why don't we start
with a prayer?
Dear God, I hope all of these people join in holy matrimony
and praise your name in their marriages.
Right?
Oh my God,
yes. If they all put God first, that's why Kyle is out.
Oh. Please, let's not jump ahead. We have to really get into that.
Okay. So, we're going to go by couple.
Yeah.
Once again, why don't we start with the shortest story, because somebody's already gone. Shayna and Kyle.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so when Kyle goes to meet with her family, her God-fearing family, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He tries to make a good impression.
Yeah.
The brothers are like, so you like sports, you know what I mean? Do you like going outside, riding dirt bikes? Do you love America? And
he's
like, yeah. And he's like, are you?
No, it was being an American. It wasn't even do you love American. They're like, do you love being an American? Like, it was so country boy.
Oh, yeah. Well, if you are a proud American, you're going to want your brother-in-law to fucking love America.
To be American. One of my favorite things is being American. Agree or disagree?
I think, he was down with all that. What threw him off is when he said, are you godly?
Are you a godly man?
Are you a godly man? He was like, what's that? And they were like, wait a minute, what? You don't know what that is? And it's like he's never heard the word godly before.
Yeah, it was really, because even when they're like godly, he was like, well, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Like, he couldn't even fathom the concept of being a godly man.
No, and that's when it went off the rails with her family.
It was not good.
Any hope that he had was going out the window when he decided to not be on board with God. And it's weird because he has compromised in other ways, like, like we said in the last episode, he's changed his diet, he hasn't eaten meat for 5 years, he'll eat it for her. So why don't you just do a little prayer to God for her?
Well, she said one of her things that she needed in a husband, she needed a man that was willing to spiritually lead her. So, and he was just like, I can't do that. Why not?
He can't be a leader. No, he could follow her lead, but I don't there you go.
He needs to lead her. Yeah, she's like, lead me.
She's been probably a wild girl her whole life, and she just wants a guy to fucking put some God in her. After that, it was really tough for him to come back from. He needed something to help that hurt. So after Shayna's trying to break up with him, and basically he says to her, like, what if, she's like, if you don't have God in your life, I don't want you. And then he's like, what if our relationship is bigger than God? That's probably the worst thing.
Nothing is bigger than God.
That was a crazy thing to say to somebody that has spent the whole last 2 weeks telling you, this is a problem that you don't believe in God, and then you're going to say, what if we're bigger than God?
Yeah.
No. Wrong.
And also, like, to say that to someone who you've known for 2 weeks is insane.
Yeah.
We're bigger than God. Like, no, we're not even bigger than, like, my relationship with my family. Like, she would choose anyone over him right now, so
sometimes
he took a risk, it didn't pay off.
I know she's so hooked on Shane that, like, it could be a little confusing. Like, does she really care that much about the God thing, or is that just her way out? But
no, I think she does, because like as soon as you met her family, you're like, oh, this is real. Like they're all like cuckoo bananas for the Lord and Savior.
Right.
So,
and then when he goes to,
I think if anything, she's been flirting with not being that person.
Trying to.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then like as soon as she was with her family again, she's like, right.
Yeah.
I love the Lord.
This guy's barely an American.
Yeah. I'm like, we don't even know you anymore. Yeah, I think that's what happened.
So when she's trying to cut him off, and she's basically like, yeah, it's too big of a problem. And he says to her, how long have you felt like this? Bro, the whole time.
Yeah.
Are you delusional? She left you in Mexico.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, she is not... It's not
but then he said, I think we should move in together.
Insane. Just straight insanity.
You shouldn't.
Like, what does he want to prove to her?
Yeah, he's just like so desperate to keep her around because he knows he can never do like better in the looks department. So
you think that's all it is?
Yeah.
She's just so hot that he's like, fuck, I'll just hold on for dear life.
I think so, because they don't have anything in common.
Well, then when he saw her, he should have just went, God is real.
Yeah, God is good.
Oh my God. God made me this?
Oh yeah, and she gave the ring back.
She gave the ring back, and then he cuts to side interview of him. I never thought this day and age, like, God would be a reason to break up. And it's like, because you don't believe in God.
Yeah.
That's why this day and age for you, it's not a deal breaker, but it's definitely a deal breaker for people that have faith.
Yeah. Yeah, he just hasn't really, like, ever, if he doesn't even know the word godly, like he's just not in that world.
Yeah.
Unlike us.
Yeah, there's a lesson out here for you atheists. There were 6 couples.
Yeah.
And guess who was out first?
And guess who was one of the hottest girls there? The Christian. So, ladies, new makeup regime.
Pray.
Put those hands together and pray.
Well, you can't talk about Shayna without talking about Shane. So a couple notes right off the top. Shane and Natalie are planning their wedding, and things are going great. They actually look like a strong couple, but some of his requests for what he wants at the wedding is wild. He wants to have
an old-fashioned fountain.
An old-fashioned fountain. He wants to have a cake.
Which, like, is that even possible?
Let's get into that. I wrote down the ingredients. It's bourbon, 1 sugar cube, 2 dashes of Angostura bitters, and a few dashes of water.
I don't think he knows what an old-fashioned is.
I don't think it will be possible to make an old-fashioned fountain because those dashes and a sugar cube are not going to be possible to come out of a fountain.
Yeah, that's what immediately I thought. Because I was like, I have a general idea of how to make an old-fashioned. I was like, I don't think you can divert from it that much to get it into fountain form.
Right.
So he's asking for too much.
His reason is, my dad's favorite drink is old-fashioned. My dad is dead.
Yeah, I'm sure he'd be so proud of you to have a fountain at your wedding.
It makes no sense.
Like, can't you just order one in his honor?
You know what his dad would probably do if there was an old-fashioned fountain at a wedding? He'd be like, I'm going to get one from the bar because that one doesn't taste like a proper
garbage. Oh, it tastes like chocolate because they're just repurposing the chocolate fountain.
This one.
Imagine going to the event place and be like, I want the chocolate fountain, but put an old-fashioned
put a never-ending old-fashioned in it. Like, what the fuck? And another crazy request he had is he wants hot dogs and cheese curds at a kid's buffet. Which isn't bad, but I think when you're going to marry a Korean girl, her family's going to be looking at you guys like white trash.
Yeah, so I did a lot of Asian weddings. And so when she was like, my whole family is lactose intolerant and we don't drink, that's very accurate. Number 1 thing at an Asian wedding, orange juice. Shout out to all the Asians out there.
Let us know in the comment section if Hannah's just being racist.
I'm not.
Or is she being...
We would have to order extra orange juice before, if we knew there was an Asian wedding coming into the venue, we would order extra orange juice ahead of time. Not big drinkers, which is great. Have an orange juice. Let loose.
Let loose with an orange juice.
But they were, okay, so right off the bat, I really liked Shane and Natalie. I'm like, wow, they're just like really going for it. They're like... really trying to communicate, like everything. It was never a fight. They're just like, oh, we're different about this, and they're like, okay. I was like, wow, that's really.
I do think
they're my number 1 couple. So
they are your number 1 couple, and I think from what I see, from the vibes that I'm getting, they're probably having the best sex of everyone on the show.
Yeah, because she has that surprise.
She has that surprise, and he's even going around to like the other couples, basically being like, yeah, we're getting on like crazy.
Yes.
Like, so he's having a good time, and that how to keep your man happy. Just fuck him a lot.
Anal.
Shane doesn't believe in 401ks. He's like,
I can miss that.
You can't be one of these couples that just buys a house and invests in 401ks. It's like, bro, like that's just life. Like we can't be saving up for
retirement. We can't be one of those couples that retires. God.
No, I think he actually did find a good match in Natalie because she's responsible and she has her shit together. And even though he has all these crazy ideas, they're in terms of like opposites attracts, they're doing well together. Like
because I really think it is like he's very into her, which is great, and she's very like patient with him.
Definitely.
And it's just like the perfect combination, which is like crazy for this show.
She must think he's so hot because like
it must be patience. Because like she like mentally is like definitely exceeding him.
Oh yeah. There's so many times where he'll come up with these stupid ideas and then she'll look at him like, you're an idiot. Like, I'm probably going to be the main breadwinner here and I'll just handle the money because like, that's what my mom did.
Yeah, so when they had the couples meet up, and then Shayna showed up.
Shayna tried to drop a bomb on them.
So she immediately was like going around telling everyone like she's going to... Nick especially. Nick is gay.
So like, Nick is like her circle bestie.
Exactly. They're like, I'm like, come on, Nick. Right. Like they're like immediately like gossiping, and so she's like, I'm gonna get Shane back, and then Shane's like, Shane even initially, he's like, do you want to talk? And she's like, okay. They go to the side, and she just starts like going into we should have been together.
Well, his thing was Natalie told him before that Shayna said she would have a guy for him. So
but
he
it looks like he's like, you know, like easing her into it, like, oh really, you like feel this way about me and all this stuff. And then he just like slams her and he's like, really? Because Natalie told me that you said you had a guy for her. Completely caught her off guard. I'm like, I'm loving Shane at this point. I'm like, get her.
Yeah, that made me have more faith in Shane and Natalie.
So much,
But also, Shayna's response was like, oh, what are you guys so bored that you need to talk about me?
No,
like,
but then he goes, no, we don't even talk about you. She goes, oh, you don't talk about me? That's a red flag. I'm like, so everything's a red flag now. If you talk about her, it's bad. If you don't talk about her, because she was like, oh, you guys are obsessed with me? He's like, no, we don't talk about you. She's like, oh, you don't talk about me? Yeah. I'm like, yo, no one cares about you.
No, she's a nut. And she's trying to like degrade their relationship so much, like saying, you guys are so fake. You guys are so fake. Time reveals all truth. And he's like, what does that mean?
Yeah, because she's
when
just
he goes
trying
back to
yeah.
Natalie and he's like, yeah, so she said that she thinks we're fake and like time reveals all truth. And Natalie's like, really talk to the girl.
Yeah.
And when they were in when they're having like, before they left the pods and like everyone has like their friends and they're like having these kumbayas, Natalie and her weren't friends.
No, of course not.
When Natalie was talking about her problems with Shane, she was over in another corner and Shane is peeking over like smiling at it.
Yeah.
But they weren't friendly enough to be like having these combos for Shayna to have any idea if they're fake or not.
Yeah. And I do also think it's like weird how like kind of obsessed she is with Shane when it's like, is Shane really a godly man? Like I know he says he's like spiritual or whatever, but I'm like, is he gonna lead her spiritually? Like I still just don't think this is the guy she wants.
I don't think
she's just causing trouble.
I don't think Shane's leading her anywhere.
No, Shane shouldn't be leading anyone.
No. So now when Shane and Natalie go to meet her parents, her mom is immediately like, fuck this. Like, she's like, I don't even want to see the ring. Like, this is a crazy idea. But he actually wins over her mom.
Wins them over. Wins them both over.
The dad was already like, I'm open to it. Like, he was pretty,
didn't
like,
care,
chill.
yeah.
Like, he's the one getting led by her mom. Same way Shane is getting led by Natalie.
Yeah.
But, he won her over. Even when the moms met up at the wedding dress shopping thing. Like, Shane and Natalie, it's looking like a good pick, Hannah.
I know. I'm really confident. This last chunk of episodes made me confident.
And it's the only diverse couple. The only, like, mixed
right.
The only mixed race couple.
Yeah, which I thought was going to be a problem for her parents because they seemed more traditional. She was like slapping the ring. Like, I don't even want to see that.
Right.
But then Shane they were like, give us more. Like, by the time he was leaving, they're like, we want more Shane. I'm like, whoa.
Now, speaking of families loving their soon-to-be in-laws, Shake and Deep. Who could be more excited than a couple of brown parents that have only seen their children only date white?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. It was very exciting. Shake's mom, or was it Shake? No, Deep's parents were like, "This is our dream guy for you," and our dream guy is just a brown man.
Yeah, for both families, the second they saw the color of the skin of the other person, they're like, like they were they didn't give a shit if they were like compatible. They're just like, yes, do it. This is happening.
But meeting the family was really good for both of them because it made them both realize, like, yeah, marrying a brown person is sick. Because, like, when I go to her family house, it's just going to feel like I'm at home with my family. Like, when he went to meet her family, it did good for his love for her. Like, it helped ease his doubts a little bit. He's like, I fit right in here. Like, this feels like a family to me. Like, this feels like we're going to blend in nicely.
Yeah, they really did. Just, like, both families embraced them with open arms.
When they're first moving into Shake's house now, when it's just the two of them, and his house is all white and black, and she's like, we need to get some color in here. And he's like, no, white only. No.
He had a super bachelor-y apartment.
Yeah.
Like, his whole thing was, like, I'm a bachelor. Like, he, like, drove fast and dangerous. I'm like, okay, like, what are we, 12? Like, it was just so... And then he was like, my bed is also, like, a hot tub bed. I don't know. Everything...
What was it about
I didn't get the hot tub bed thing.
He can turn heat on his bed or something?
Yeah, he's
I
like...
would hate that.
Yeah. No one wants a hot bed.
What the fuck is wrong with this guy?
Yeah.
They order sushi, and I think Deep might be stupid because she was so shocked that you're mixing in wasabi with soy sauce, which is
everyone. Like, I couldn't even believe that she was like, "No, you don't do that." I'm like, everyone does that.
So they bet on it. They bet whoever loses this bet has to, because she doesn't understand.
She's like, no way.
There's no way. He's like, let's bet on it. Loser has to take the other person out on a date. Now she loses, and immediately she's like, "Oh, but you're supposed to be the one pampering me." It's like, the fuck? You just lost a bet.
And she's 30 and she lives at home. I also noted.
Oh, she lives at home with her parents? I didn't even notice that part.
I assume it's like a brown thing. Like all the girls you date still living at home?
Definitely.
That's how he likes them.
That's true. It can be a real problem sometimes, actually. They all have to go home at the end of the night. No sleepovers. There ain't no sleepovers with brown girls. Not at my house, at least. Now, amongst all these things getting better about their relationship, the one thing that isn't getting better is he can't stop bringing up how unattractive he is to her. He talked to his mom about it. He talks to the other guys about it. He will not shut up about how unattractive he is to her. And now I'm thinking, if there's any chance of this relationship working out, they're going to have to watch this season back, and she's going to have to watch him say how unattractive he is to her in every episode. That's rough, yo.
And he's desperate to become attracted to her. Even he's going around to everyone. Yeah. He's like, "You got any advice? How do I?" And they haven't even had sex yet either.
No. And Shane gives him great advice. He's like, "Take a couple shots, turn the lights off, put on Boyz II Men, and just fuck her as much as possible." Yeah.
Which, not bad advice. Honestly.
Excellent advice.
Yeah. So, I went over all the girls' wedding dresses too. So I said hers was amazing because she did the traditional Indian wedding dress, but it was glamour and white. You didn't like it? How was that
in the same store? That's what I was wondering about. Traditional Indian.
Oh yeah, it obviously wasn't. They're like, "Oh, we just have this in the back." No, that was a setup. Yeah.
Also, traditional Indian wedding dresses are not white.
I know. I noticed that too. Yeah.
Do you want to talk more about wedding dresses?
Yeah. So, her wedding dress, although not traditional. She was kind of I want more Indian style. Yeah. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Natalie's also loved it. It was spaghetti strap and A-line. Beautiful. Mallory's? Not good. It's very just plain and frumpy. Didn't really get a lot out of it. And then who's the other one?
Danielle.
Beautiful.
So Danielle,
hers was very sparkly.
You're right. Her dress was very beautiful when she tried it on the store, but she switched it up last minute. And you know why I think she did? Because she probably didn't like her arms looking fat. Because she ended up wearing one with sleeves, and it got me singing this song when I saw that she switched it to sleeves. Danielle's getting married and she thinks she's fat. Gonna get a wedding dress. What's she gonna put on that? Throw some sleeves on that bitch. Just got a wedding dress. Throw some sleeves on that bitch. And that's the song I was singing while I was watching Love is Blind. Back to the show. Let's talk about Mallory and Salary.
You playing that one? You had that one in your pocket the whole time?
Mallory and Salary?
Yeah.
No, I just had Mal and Sal written down there. But that song, what did you think of that song?
Yeah,
You know what song that's from?
No.
Rich Homie Quan. Throw some D's. Throw some D's on that bitch. But she's throwing
What does D's mean?
She's throwing some sleeves on that bitch.
Yeah, so there's multiple levels to how hilarious this is. Do you want to break down all of them?
There used to be a remix about going to McDonald's, getting me a Big Mac, throw some cheese on that bitch.
Wow. Just keeps going.
When it's hot outside and you want a cold water bottle, put it in the freezer, throw some freeze on that bitch.
You lost me a bit on that one.
When you ask God for forgiveness and you want to beg, throw some
please
on that bitch.
I got
it. When you go to a place that a barren land, it's been a forest fire. We want to throw some trees on that bitch. Do you have any? Now that you get how it works?
Oh yeah, no. It's just rhyming with an ease at the end. Yeah, so it almost seems moronic at this point.
Good one.
When you're locked out of your house and you can't get in, throw some
keys on that bitch.
We got it.
When you're standing, when you're down by 2 and you want to win the game in basketball, throw some threes on that bitch.
Yeah.
Hit that buzzer beater. Throw some threes on that bitch. I could do this.
This is cultural appropriation.
For at least 2 more minutes.
Until I've gone through all the letters of the alphabet. When you're really sweaty and you just want to cool down, throw some breeze on that shit. Is it bitch. Shit? Oh no!
If your girl's flat chested, and you want to get implants, throw some D's on that bitch. If you got
what was the original meaning? What does D's mean?
It is putting 20-inch rims on a Cadillac.
Okay, that's what I assumed. It is rims.
Yeah, how do you assume that?
I don't know why I knew that D's were rims, but that is what I thought. In my head, I was like, D's to me are always tits or minor C's or rims.
You go to a Muay Thai fight and you're all out of elbows, throw some knees on that bitch.
Yeah, I was thinking knees. I was like, no, it's going to be dumb, whatever we do with knees. Well, you didn't answer mine. When you just graduated college.
And you want a diploma?
Yeah.
What?
Throw some degrees on that bitch.
Kids, go to school.
Get that degree.
Yeah. Throw degrees on that bitch. The thing is, it's 2 syllables, so it's a little bit fucked. But what's not a little bit fucked
that wouldn't stop
is my new first place couple, Mallory and Salary.
Really?
I don't know. I can't remember. There wasn't that. Okay, so let's move on to Mal and Sal. Their names rhyme, so why shouldn't they get married? I mean, they already have that. Now, it took a while for them to even appear in an episode. I feel like they're getting pushed to the back burner. They must not have that much interesting things going on.
Yeah, very left out for a while. And then at first they seemed okay. But then they seemed okay because she met the roommate. And they, like, serenaded her. What did you think about that?
She walks in, she sees the roommate. At first, she's like, I don't know if I want to live with a roommate. Then they sing her a song. And she's like, this is fucking awesome. She's actually
bawling.
Ay, 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 ay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that song. I don't know how to speak Spanish, but I'm trying to learn. When they go to the big couple meetup, the big conversation that Sal needs to have with Jared is like, well, hey, why'd you bring up the gold ring thing?
Immediately.
Why'd you bring it up? Yeah. And Jared tries to act like, oh, I wasn't even trying to cause you trouble. Like, yes, you were. You were 100% saying, I would have done it. Jared was being a little bit of a...
Yeah, but at the same time, like, for Sal to even go up to him and be like, why'd you say that? It's like, just, like, forget about it. Like, he's not around anymore.
This is a reality TV show.
I know.
Every wrong that's done to you need to call him out.
You have to be like, we have to have a conversation about this.
I'm going to call him out.
But it was, but also he called him out, and, like, immediately Jarrett was like, well, I just didn't think it was, like, you know, a big deal. And Sal immediately was like, yeah, like, backed off. I was like, ooh, that's not a good look.
Really? You think he was
I don't like that.
Quick to back down.
Yeah.
Another one of your favorite rap songs.
Yep.
Quick to back down. You know what I mean? You don't want a guy that's quick to back down.
I don't. No, I think that, like, if you're going to go over and have the conversation, at least, like, put some... Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
But back to Mal and Sal. When Sal introduces Mal to his sisters, they love her. Mm-hmm. That's making Mal feel more at home with her. But when Mal introduces Sal to her sister, she's kind of like, fuck this shit.
Yeah, and I did think it was funny. I don't remember which meeting it was, but they were like, oh, was there anyone else in the pods? And Mallory was like too excited to talk about Jarrett. She's like, well, actually, funny you should ask, and just like goes into it. I was like, whoa.
I had a pretty clear cut number two.
Yeah. She's like, oh, there was.
But Sal goes to her sister, can we have your blessing? She's like, I've only just met you 20 minutes ago, so no. And then it cuts to him on a side one, and he's like, if she doesn't want to come to the wedding, whatever, we'll just do it without her. It's like, how about you just talk to her a couple more times? Like, he's
so dramatic.
He's so quick to back down.
Yeah.
Quick to back down from Jared, quick to back down from her sister. He's just like, fuck them all.
Yeah, but even with them, so then they got into a little thing with, she had a former lover, boyfriend or something come up.
Hers? No, his did. So what happened was, I guess before that he went on the show, he was dating a girl.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
So the whole time he must have been telling her it's not that serious. I'm going to go on this show. Like,
and they were open too or something?
He's like, you can talk to other guys.
Don't do it. Hey, kids. Hot tip. Don't do it.
Open relationships?
Never. Close them up with your hands.
So it comes up, this thing they have to fight about. Sal apparently had an ex go to his sister's house, so he knows she must have been like with him enough to know his own family. She goes to the sister's house crying, they let her in. It's a big thing. Now Mallory was so cheesed by this that they didn't even sleep in the same bed that night. But when they go to talk about it the next day, she's asking some good questions like, oh, you guys weren't that serious, but she knows your sisters? Like, she's walking into your sister's house to cry about it? Must have been pretty, like, do you introduce everyone to your sisters?
Yeah.
And he doesn't really do a good job of backtracking, but she kind of forgives him. But she's like, if anything else comes out about this, we're done.
Yeah. So that that's the thing about them is they're constantly like one more thing, and I'm out the door. Right. They're waiting for that one thing.
But after the trouble of that girl coming up, Sal plans a nice evening for her. Rose petals everywhere.
Oh yeah, and he's gonna cook.
Cooks her his famous stir fry. I don't know if you guys ever heard of it. It's Sal's famous stir fry, but it did look good.
Yeah, and he was explaining why cooking was gonna, unite them. He's like, it's energy, but also it's this beautiful expression of love. I'm like, okay, people have cooked for each other before, you fuck.
White girls don't know how to cook. That's why she feels that way about cooking.
That's true.
What's your specialty? I make really good Kraft dinner.
I made Kraft dinner today.
I put extra cheese in it.
And I put hot... My secret is hot sauce.
It's nice. What kind? Frank's Red Hot?
That's more like my ketchup. I have a lot. I actually do like hot sauce.
Okay.
I don't know what one it was that I put in. Good one. This is getting cut. Any nice info about me, he's definitely cutting that out. Yeah, you want to get it out? What is it? Say it.
Much like the dicks that you put in. I don't know which one that was, but it was. Yeah.
It was a good one. Yeah, toss that one in there. I used to make homemade tacos and shit for lovers.
Nice.
Guys like that. They like if I actually make it all.
Right.
They like that.
You know why? Because of what Sal said. It's like fucking you're connecting, you're loving. Cooking with love? Ever try it? Put a pinch of love in there? Chef's kiss. Yep.
Yeah.
So Sal cooks for her, he sings for her, and honestly, I think he's making her fall more in love every time he does.
Yeah. She actually said, I do love you. Which is a very reality TV show way of saying it.
Yeah. No,
you never say, I love you. You say, I do love you.
No, I do love you.
Yeah.
It's not all bullshit.
Yeah. It's in response to something. Wow. How can you treat me like this? That's unspoken. And then the person goes, I do love you. Yeah. It's not the same as I love you.
So let's move on to Ayana and Jarrett. Ayana, I know you think that laugh is cute, and sometimes it is, but it can be a little bit annoying after it's balls? Oh, you have a chair over here? It's why is everything so giggly about everything you see in this fucking apartment?
Yeah.
That was my first note.
Yeah, I didn't clock it that much, but I think it's just because I'm a girl, so I don't.
She has this cute little giggle, which I was it was cute at first, but she's overusing it.
Yeah, I only noticed it because you pointed it out. But I think as a girl, we just
just giggle all the time.
We just tuned it out. It's just part of our.
Well, one thing that girls don't tune out is gifts from exes. All right, so she's looking around his place. She sees a beautiful watch case with his initials on it, not somebody else's initials on it. But she asks, "Who gave this to you?" And he says, "Who gave it to me?" And boy, did I smell trouble. There's a giggle.
Fuck me.
So she's looking at the watch case. Who gave it to you? He says, oh, my ex. She's like, oh, well, that must have meant something to you. And it probably meant something to her, too. It's no, it's a fucking nice watch case with my initials on it, and I want to keep it. She wants him to throw out every present that someone ever gave him. When it comes to gifts from exes, unless it's a picture with their face or name or whatever, on your leg. I think don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. The gift is the baby, the ex is the bathwater. Yeah, of course you're going to flush the bathwater down the drain, but keep the baby.
Keep the baby.
Keep your gifts from your ex. Pretty much. Now, meeting Jarrett's parents, she was a hit. She was an instant hit.
Again, I think they were so excited she was black. That's the impression I got. As soon as they saw her, they were like, we weren't expecting this. You didn't think that?
No, I didn't think so. I think his parents, all they care about is her being Christian. Because his dad's a pastor.
Was that it?
Yeah.
Oh, well, because there was just something that they were immediately so excited about. But then when they said we're getting married in 2 weeks, then they were kind of ooh.
But then when they sat down and talked, the dad's like, I want to marry you. I want to be the pastor.
True.
And he was getting real emotional.
It was more the mom, I think.
He was pretty down. The more Ayana gets to know Jarrett, though, on a personal level, I think she's liking him a little bit less. finding out that he goes out all the time. Like,
yeah,
all these doubts about like the exes thing, and even the Mallory thing still in her head because she's like, I know how he talk to Mallory, so like, what if he talks to all his exes like that kind of thing?
Yeah. And she also like, and he couldn't say anything without her being like, yeah, but you like Mallory. Like, no, he was like, I want to have kids right away. She's like, oh, is that why you like Mallory? I'm like, yo, right. What? Like, that doesn't even make sense. He's saying he wants to have kids right away with you.
No, but the reason it made sense is because she needs to go to school and stuff. She's not done school. Mallory's already done. She's an established
You're being such a girl right now. Like, he was saying a nice thing. Like, I want to have kids right away with you. Like, that's a nice thing. Like he's saying, like, I see a future with you.
Right.
But then she's like, oh, that's why you like Mallory? And no matter what he said, he's like, I love you. She's like, just like you like Mallory? Like, everything.
But 100%, Mallory's a better option if you want to start a family right now, because this girl's going to cost you lots of money, and he likes to go out and stuff, and it's like...
Yeah, but she's young. You have more years with her. She's like a little firecracker still. I thought guys wanted that.
She's young. She's very young. She's so young. She just got parents like 3 years ago. She got adopted at 22 years old. Little late for parents, don't you think? You made it this far without them.
Who needs them?
Who gets adopted at 22 years old? Who adopts a 22-year-old?
How old is she now?
I think she's 24.
Really? Oh,
she said she moved in with them when she was 18, and she got adopted when she was 22. I guess it's nice.
She also like immediately crushed his dreams when she found out that he played football. I think He's like, yeah, our kids are gonna play football, and she's like, no, they're not. Like, oh,
I know.
She was like, nope, that's not happening, and you could just see his like little heart being broken.
Because she said that she dated football players and they were slow.
Yeah, because they have too many concussions. Yeah. She's like, I don't want slow kids.
I've had a lot of concussions, and look at me, Ayana. That's her name, right? They do fight about him going out a lot. When she brings it up to him, he's like, I only went out 3 nights last week. Now, you're going to marry this girl in 2 weeks. And you're going out 3 nights without her? Like, I think that is a bit too much.
That's a bit too much.
And she says to him, I just want you to come home by 3 a.m. I'm like, how late was this guy coming home? He went out 3 nights a week, and he was coming home at like 5 a.m. Like, that's pretty out of control.
And she's the young one. Like, this is the thing. Like, if she's not putting up with it, no one's going to put up with it. You think a 30-year-old's going to put up with that?
And when it shows him and his friends, like, going out, like, it's just, like, 5 of them at a table. Like, there's no one else in the place.
Yeah, because that's obviously not what they're doing. They're like, just film this, and then we'll fuck the girls when you're done.
Goddamn. So how do you feel about that couple? Moving forward. Do you think they're looking good, strong?
Sometimes yes, but I think the more it goes on, no. Like, the more it goes on, I think you're right. She's pulling back, and she's kind of like, you're, like, not...
I think he's gonna...
Not committed.
He's gonna try and go through with it, but yeah, I think she's kind of realizing more and more, like, this guy ain't too good for me.
Yeah.
So let's finish up with Nick and Danielle. Spoiler alert. No. Not spoiler alert, but the episode ended with a cliffhanger.
Heads up. Oh.
Yeah. The episode ended with
I'm trying to help you.
Cliffhanger on that one. She threw some sleeves on that bitch.
No, start at the beginning.
She threw some sleeves on that bitch.
Before that.
Let me remind you that
Danielle of my hilarious song.
And she needs a dress.
Throw it in one more time. Come on.
Danielle is getting married and she's feeling fat.
Set it up.
Gonna get married. Get herself a wedding dress. Throw some sleeves on that bitch. Just got a wedding dress.
Holy shit.
Okay. Now, a huge foundation for Nick and Danielle is they both don't want to get divorced. They can't stop talking about it. Like, I don't want to get divorced.
Their only foundation is they don't want to get divorced, and we used to be fat.
Yeah. Oh, my parents got divorced, so I don't want to. Oh, mine did too. Well, look at us go.
Oh, well, we better get married then. With no foundation.
These guys, if you checked out our last recap, if you haven't, go back and check it out. Episodes 1 to 5. I went into these crop of episodes thinking Nick and Danielle were one of the strongest couples, but man, did they destroy that episode by episode this week.
They were your number one. Not looking so good now, huh? For a gambling man, I'd say.
Best ones looking like crap.
Maybe you should have bet on black.
Ooh, that was good.
Right.
but black ain't looking good right now.
Well, they're better than them.
So, big foundation for them is not wanting to get divorced. What a great idea when you're going to get married. Just don't get divorced.
From the beginning, she's immediately has cold feet. I'm like, how dare you have cold feet, you psychopath? Like, he should have cold feet.
Right. And anytime he brings up like anything he's a little worried about, she just has a total breakdown. And then the next day she's like, oh, she actually got upset that when she's upset, he can make her feel better. But when he's upset, she can't make him feel better. Well, maybe if you stop fucking complaining about what you're complaining about and give him a chance, you will make him feel better. But
the whole thing, like, that's, I was like, I had to, like, I was writing so many notes and, like, delete, because the whole thing, I'm just like, she's just a, like, narcissist, psychopath, like, gaslighting, like, everything she does, I'm like, yo, like, this is such bad, like, behavior from a partner.
When she brings him home to meet her family, her mom says to him, you got to be strong, because she ruins relationships.
Yeah.
Like, it's just
like a known.
She'll push you away, and you gotta fucking come in even harder. Like, but that's how she said. Her mom said she is too, but her mom was actually kind of hot.
We'll put the
it's a lot more easy. It's a lot more easy to do.
Was she? Oh, his family was super ugly.
Yeah, her mom was actually kind of hot. And it's a lot easier to be committed to a crazy person that pushes you away all the time when they're kind of hot.
Yeah, but she's not hot enough to act like she does.
No, she's not. Her mom is.
Yeah, but they still got divorced. So.
Ooh, snap.
Obviously not.
The stepdad's loving it though. The stepdad, you said, he's like, you know what'll make a relationship good? Lots of sex. You gotta have lots of sex.
Oh, so then the whole thing was how much you guys fucking.
Her brother.
Oh, her brother wants to know how much.
So like, how sexually active are you guys?
Disgusting.
Oh my god. Yeah. And then the little sister's just there like, oh my god, make it stop. Like,
yeah, and they're like, well, she has to learn sometime. I'm like, this is just incest. Like, she doesn't have to learn about this.
The stepdad's like basically like, listen, I fucked your mom a lot, and that's the reason I can put up with all her bullshit. Mm-hmm. So you guys better do the same.
Yeah, and then he afterwards, Nick is like, yeah, I don't think they have a lot of boundaries.
Right.
Isn't it great? Like, no.
Yeah, it's too much.
It's not.
But it's because it's a stepdad, I guess. Because if it was her real dad, he probably wouldn't be talking about that in front of like his own daughter. And
but like, I wouldn't be talking about that in front of my brother. If my brother asked me how much I'm fucking my partner.
Oh yeah, the brother thing's weird too.
Disgusting.
It's a weird family.
I feel like.
Like, are you fucking my sister? Because she used to be fat. And
you giving it to her good?
Yeah. And apparently he's not actually. Because then when they talking about sex, she's like, you were asking before you did everything. Like,
oh,
can I do this?
yeah.
Can I do that? And he's like, oh, we just met.
He's like, we need. Don't ask.
and then
hey, guys, that's my hot tip as a girl. Don't ask.
Be careful with that one.
Nah, don't ask. It's cuck behavior. You like being an American?
Yeah, you like being an American.
Grab him by the pussy and don't ask.
Now, Danielle, she's got her own flaws. Nick, maybe he's not doing great in the bedroom, but you know what? Danielle, she's just picking fights over everything. And one of the things she picks a fight about is that he doesn't acknowledge her flaws enough. Mm-hmm. She's like, no, I'm fucked up. And he's like, no, you're not. She's like, why can't you just acknowledge how fucked up I am?
Yeah, everything. And she, no matter what it was, like, she would push him away, and then he'd be like, okay. And then she'd be like, wow, I can't believe you're saying okay right now. Or she'd be like, weird. Like, she'd just be like picking at him, and then she'd snap and she'd be like, oh my God, like, I can't. I hate that so much.
They don't look like they're having a good time.
Never. And like, no, like, he can't say anything without her like turning it into an argument. Like, no matter what she says, she always goes, wow, I can't believe you just said that right now. Like, it could be anything. He'd be like, I'm really looking forward to like whatever tomorrow, and she'd be like, wow, you know, I just like, it's just like crazy that you would say that, right? And and then he even said, we both said, like, she's gone berserk, and he goes, well, we both said things we regret, and she's like, no, I didn't.
One of their big fights in that episode, or in this, was when they're at her family party. I guess he was getting texts and trying to coordinate like his own family and friends meetup, and it was stressing him out a little bit. And the fact that on the way home from their meetup, I guess he was like, yeah, I'm a little stressed about my family stuff tomorrow. She's like, well, can't we just enjoy that? We just had a good time with my family.
It wasn't that. It was his friends. It was but it was so ridiculous. So he got, I guess, a text from his friends that he was kind of upset about. And she's like, I just can't believe, like, we had it was over. Like, their family time was over. She's like, we had such a good time with my family. And, you know, I was just so elated. You knew that was the biggest thing for me. And then you couldn't stop talking about your friends. And he's like he
I have other stuff going on today.
He's like, that's a normal thing to be like, you know, have two things going on in your life. But she couldn't get over that.
She made it sound like that was like the only happy day she ever had. Yep. She's like, it's the only day I ever was happy.
That's all I was looking forward to in the pods was you meeting my family, and you ruined it because even after everything went great, he just talked about something that was going on in his life.
Right.
That wasn't to do with that. And she was like, wow. And then he told her that she thinks the world revolves around her. Fellas, if you want to get a girl mad, toss that one in there.
Treat her like she's the center of the universe, but don't tell her that she thinks she is. When Danielle meets Nick's family now...
and can I say, woof.
Nick's family is pretty rough. Love needs to be blind for them, I can tell you that right now. I don't blame Nick's dad for leaving that mess.
Yeah, all of them. Even the kids. He's like not a good looking one in the bunch.
Man, Nick's sister is very fat. And Danielle is like talking about how she has all these like insecurities because she lost 70 pounds. Nick's sister's looking at her like, I got 70 pounds right here on this ham hock over here. Yeah,
that didn't it's funny, like Danielle thought that was really gonna bond them. It's like they have your 70 pounds plus more. Like, don't talk about it.
Nick's sister had huge arms, and all I could think about was throw some sleeves on that bitch. No, I couldn't actually because I didn't think of that yet, but that's a callback. Do you like that one?
No.
His sister calls Nick out for saying like, oh, dude, are you going to be cool with him having 2 showers a day and his like, OCD about hand washing?
Yeah.
And I'm like, could he get any gayer?
Yeah, she's like, are you going to be okay with him being a total pussy, like, about his hygiene?
right.
When they went to his place first, she was like, whoa, you're clean, major red flag. I'm messy. I'm like, so clean up. Like, as if he's the bad guy for being clean.
Is being clean a major red flag?
No.
One time I cleaned up really good before a girl came over, and when she came over, she said, I thought you were gay because your room was so clean.
Oh, I guess, like, in his case, yeah, it could be, like, gay levels of clean, but I don't think that's fair of her to be like, oh, but I'm messy, so, you know, you're gonna have to learn to be messy. It's like, no, you learn to be clean.
Yeah, she's like, where's my rock band set gonna go here?
Yeah.
He's like, we're not gonna have a drum set in the living room.
Yeah, she was so upset that he even dared suggest that they would have to put the rock band set in a closet. She's like, but I use it every day. It's like, do you? Why?
Leave it out, because I want to jam.
Yeah, she's like, no, we couldn't possibly put it away.
When he goes to see her place, he's pretty grossed out by the state of it.
And honestly, it wasn't that bad. I don't know why she was like, I'm messy, but I just was annoyed that she was like, ugh, clean people. Fair. Like, they have to get on my, like, dirtbag level. But then her place was fine. I'm like, yeah, this is...
It was fine, but he didn't like it. He was like, there's so much stuff here. This is kind of...
Yeah, he was like, you know... Oh, and then when he met the cat... He's never met a cat before in his life.
Okay, tell me about the cat.
The cat is walking over to him, and he has his hand out, and he's like shaking, and then he keeps pulling it back like this as the cat's walking over. He goes, "Is he gonna scratch me?" And I'm like, "Yo, this guy hasn't met a cat."
I'm not a big fan of cats either.
Yeah, but you wouldn't if I saw a man reacting like that to like a tiny precious little cat. Oh, is he gonna scratch me? Like jumping back. The cat's just like. Like walking over. I'm like nicest cat in the world. And now apparently she has to toss him the cat in the garbage because he is a dog. He's just very particular about everything. So they both are very particular about everything about their apartments and their lives, and they just like don't really seem like they're going to compromise about anything.
They're not doing a good compromise.
No.
One of the things Nick loves about Danielle is she's so goofy. But when he saw her place, he's like, she might be too goofy. And I agree. She might be too goofy.
Yeah, I don't like that level of goof.
Yeah.
Because she's like, I'm goofy, so you're gonna have to get used to it.
Every once in a while, I'm gonna come out wearing a hot dog costume. I order weird shit, and it's like, what?
And so they put on the costume. She put on the hot dog. He put on the cob of corn.
Yeah.
And then he was like horrified because she's like, yeah, sometimes I'll just answer the door like this. And he's like, really?
They seem like a pretty bad match at this point.
Do. Like everything about them is so off. But I think it's mainly because he's Catholic and closeted gay, so.
Another thing that Nick is not looking forward to is Danielle and her friends having dance parties in the room because she's like, we break shit. She's like, a table might break every once in a while. And he's like, how about we have fun without breaking anything? Yeah. And she's like, well, nobody plans on breaking anything. Yeah. But shit gets broken.
Yeah, the whole time. She's like, you're not ready for how silly we are for her and her friends.
He's like, so you're 27-year-olds dancing on a table in your kitchen. Yeah. She has a broken table. She's like, oh, yeah. I put a sign that said no dancing on the table, but people still dance on the table.
People be dancing. But you know what? That I actually like. I like when friends have fun together. Hot take. Hannah likes when people
having fun is pretty cool.
All right, by me.
Yeah, I think friends having fun together is fine too. If a couple girls and their friends want to dance on my table, go for it.
Is that code for your dick?
Yeah, but the thing about my table is in my pants.
It's already broken.
These guys are not looking good heading into the wedding day. Let's just say that. Nick and Danielle, you were my top dogs going into this crop of episodes. You ain't sniffing the top spot right now. The episode ends. Our cliffhanger is Danielle does say I do. All right? But Nick, he's sweating like a whore in church. Like Hannah. On a Christmas day. On a Christmas Eve mass.
Boy, do I know a few things about sweating in church.
He looks really sweaty. It's extremely sweaty. I don't know how hot it is in Chicago, the so-called windy city, but they need to throw some breeze on that bitch. Let's go.
He did it. He did it.
Go. That's pretty much all I had to say about all the couples, but I will say...
No, we forgot one thing.
No way.
When they were testing out their wedding cake, which it didn't show anyone else testing out their wedding cake, but it showed, like, the two former fatties testing out their wedding cake, and they're like, this is so good, this is so good, and then at the end they're like, can you just leave this so we can finish it off? I was like, uh-oh. If you, like, but this is the thing, they're gonna start feeding into each other's, like...
mouths.
Yeah. Yeah.
So my top couple's looking like shit. Hannah's looking good. One thing I will say that I just left for the end is the bachelor and bachelorette party. There's two quick notes on it.
So boring.
Danielle says, on the bachelorette boat, I don't dance. So who the fuck is breaking these tables at their house?
I didn't even catch that.
Her friends are like,
is such a liar.
Would you dance with Nick? She's like, I don't even dance. It's like, what are all these dance parties? You have 3 dance parties a week and you don't know how to dance yet?
Yeah, and she goes, and if Nick was here, he would be not dancing with me.
Ew.
Yeah.
Talk about a not fun couple.
Yeah.
He'd be asking me if it's okay to kiss my neck.
Yeah. Yeah, he'd be asking me permission to hold my hand. Just the way I like it.
That's the one note I made about the bachelorette party. And the one I made about the bachelor party is my favorite part is Shane striking out at baseball.
And crying about it.
Oh my God. His day, he was horrified. He's like, Sal's wearing dress shoes and he out hit me.
Yeah, you know what I thought was funny too is that Sal was like surprised that he was like good at baseball. I'm like, you're fucking Spanish. Like, of course you're good at baseball. He's like, who saw this coming? I'm like, I don't know, all of North America. Like, that's your thing.
And when Shane was having his little breakdown, he's like, fuck. He's like, I'm so mad that I didn't. But man, I love Natalie. I can't wait to marry her. It was just he's like in all of his rage. He's like, but Natalie though. Mm-hmm. I'll tell you where I'm not striking out.
I don't know.
With Natalie.
You got more?
Throw some cum on that bitch. Throw some. Is there anything that like a way to say cum that is like
ease?
Yeah. So wait. Okay, stop. Everyone, stop.
Is it cheese?
Stop.
Are you doing
cheese?
Stop.
I'll tell you where I'm not striking out. with Natalie. I'm gonna throw some G's on that bitch. G's.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say cheese.
Dick cheese? Ew. All right. Anyways, your couple's looking really good.
Yep.
My pick is fucking blowing up. We're gonna open the next episode finding out if Nick says yes. Did they make it to the altar? Is he gonna say yes?
The next one is the last group of episodes?
It should be.
Okay.
Should be
so we'll get trashed for that one.
Gonna get fucking hammered.
Unfortunately, we have to drive somewhere tonight, so
like it's a wedding. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a wedding, so we should do a wedding themed episode.
I'm gonna wear a cape.
I'm gonna sweat like a whore in church.
Now, just to close this one off, out of the guys that are in this Love Is Blind season, fuck, marry, kill. Just pick any three, and I'll pick fuck, marry, kill for my girls. First of all, I'm gonna kill Danielle. I'm gonna fuck her mom, and I'll probably marry Natalie.
Oh, like that. Oh, okay. I'm gonna kill Nick. I'll fuck Sal because, like, maybe he sings, he cooks, like maybe he knows a thing or two, and then I'll marry both of Shayna's brothers.
Because love America.
Being American.
Guys, thanks for watching. If you didn't see the last one, go back and watch it. This one I titled correctly and put season 2 in it. So thanks for finding us. Love Is Blind recap on the JamEasy Times with your host James JamEasy Cummins and Hannah Veldhoen. Is that how you say your last name?
Close enough.
Veldhoen?
No, worse.
Veldhoen.
Yeah.
Tell them where to find you, Hannah.
You can find me hanging out on street corners, trying to turn some tricks. I occasionally will suck dick for free, so stay tuned for that. And also you can find me at hannah.veldhoen on Instagram.
Thanks for watching, guys. Like, comment, subscribe. Follow us on Instagram and our socials. Peace.